Hello, people of Earth. This is the homie Pedro. I'm talking about the importance of fathers on behalf of my dad. It's his birthday today, so figure why not? It's pretty fitting. Um, so oh yeah, and for Pete's sake, like, share, subscribe. Takes a second. Thank you. Um, and for all you newcomers, this is storytelling. Keep it about 10 minutes long, 8 to 12 minutes, and yeah. So here it goes. So my father, he was born in the South Side of Chicago, and he decided to come out here for a better life. For which I'm currently in Salt Lake City, Utah, to not have us go through what he went through. Um, his brother was unalived, and his brother had a scholarship to Notre Dame, of all places, for football. And this happened right before he was able to go. Um, but yeah, um, so my my dad came out here and he worked for the post office and just was always a grinder. And this is the thing, is I didn't know much about love languages until I met my fiance, and she's talking about different love languages. Like mine is, I like love, whatever, stuff like that. I'm very verbal. Like, I love you, peace out, stay safe, one love, peace out, stay safe, stuff like that is usually how I end my videos. Um, and when my dad, is all action. So my dad, whenever I needed something, is all action. When he and my mom got divorced, he moved into an apartment that was a block away. And this is the importance of fathers: is there was a kid toucher in the area. He got to so many kids. I mean, that I know of that were just in that area, there was probably about seven of them. Did not touch my brothers, because that guy was probably terrified of my father. I watched something recently where they were interviewing a guy who was a PDF file, and he said the number one thing he looked for were people without fathers, kids without fathers, because he said that's too risky, you know. And my dad, very intimidating person, very intimidating voice, and so that kept us from all that lifetime trauma. And for that, I'm forever thankful. When my mom got custody and we went to New York, didn't even tell my dad about it. My dad tracked us down. He hired a private investigator, found us, and next thing you know, he's at the school saying, "Hey, and that was one of the only times he said I love you. He said I love you three different times to me. One time was that it was after about 2 years of not seeing him. Another time was when I was facing five to life as a 21-year-old. This is my first time ever getting caught dead to rights. And the third time was when I had well, actually, third and fourth time was when I had my sons. So, but he's always been there for me, and just a real man, And he always came with the there's different three types of parenting. So there's, well, that the three common types. It's helicopter parenting, which is very dangerous. Those that can lead to you being more of a friend than a parental figure to your son or daughter. Uh, and then there's a sergeant approach, which my dad was basically 50-50 on sergeant and therapist. He actually ended up being a therapist after he had lost his job at the post office. And he'd always been very open about it. He had beaten alcohol and coke, and he always talked about like that feeling of he would buy people rounds at the bar, goes back to the bar, and not one person the next day bought him around. And he just quit on his own. He didn't go no step programs, no rehab, stuff like that. He just said enough's enough. Enough's enough. I choose my family, my sons. He took on two daughters and a son that aren't even biologically his. But to this day they still call him dad. And he's just always been a grinder. Like there's people since I'm a junior and I look a lot like him, people run up on the streets. They're like, wait, you're such and such a son, and I'm like, yeah, and they always tell me, oh my gosh, he saved my life, and then they go like into these stories of like how they were very down the dumps, feeling about unaliving themselves, and then they went to the Indian Walk-In Center where he would do his hours for counseling because he has his bachelor's in psychology, his master's in social work. So he worked with a lot of homeless people. He helped pass bills. He all for like homeless people so they don't freeze and freeze to death out here. Like it gets cold at night. And he's always been an outspoken voice for the downtrodden, even people that have a lot of financial wealth, but just not all there. Like my dad's always been there. He kind of reminds me of Robin Williams off of like Good Will Hunting. Like he has that ability to get through to people, just by relating to them from his experiences. And I think part of that rubbed off on me just seeing how he was. I mean, I was in so much trouble growing up. I was always thinking like, man, but then I'd have these moments in school. I'd have these moments in school and I'll talk about the importance of teachers, stuff like that, and different interactions I had with teachers because there are good and bad teachers, just like there is with anything. But I think that's why I stuck with firefighting. I love helping people. That's my goal, is to help people. So even though I can't do it legally because my background, like I said, I had F1 robbery, and yeah, so I gotta wait a minute before I could, before I can go about that. But anyways, this ain't about me, it's about my dad. And my dad, so proud of him because his therapist approach, I can come to him and just talk to him about anything, you know, not anything, not you know what I mean. There's boundaries, but I remember one funny thing. He was always really funny. He always had so much game, especially when he was like single after the divorce, and I got to see it when I was a teenager. Like he would just, it was just one date after another date after another date. But he always was very courteous to these women. I'm like, dang, and he was getting some very high value women, like very high status, high value, stuff like that. And I'm just saying, like, what? But he was just witty, funny, polite, big, strong. You know what I mean? And but anyways, he knew I was up to no good because he used to change my diapers, so obviously he knows what I'm up to. And I went from 5 years old to 21 without being caught. And one time when I was about 16 is right when I first started like living with him. Um, he had found out that I had a GameCube, and he's like, "Where did the GameCube come from?" And I'm like, just some friends, blah, blah, blah." And he's like, "Oh, brand new GameCube. Friend gave you brand new GameCube. That must be a really good friend." I remember I was playing Super Smash Brothers. That game was dope. But anyways, so playing Super Smash Brothers, and he's like, you forgot to do your homework." And I'm like, no, I'll get around to it. He turned off the GameCube and threw it out the window. At the time, we were in a second story apartment. Threw it out the window, and it broke. And I just remember thinking, like, dang. And then I remember him. He's like, dang, like mad, but use the F word, very authoritative voice. And then he's like, I should have sold it to the neighbors. Like he was, I thought he was gonna apologize. Nah, and then he's like, I'm never gonna ask you twice. I'm never gonna ask you twice. When I say something, you better go do it. He's like, now go do your homework. And I was like, okay. So I learned from there to always, you know, respect that. Not only that, he told me respect elders, be courteous to people, don't cuss because it shows that you lack the ability to articulate yourself. He taught me, man, so many gems. To make friends, because if you make to be nice to people because you have a chance of making friends, but if you're rude to people, you for sure made an enemy. And who lives longer? People with a lot of friends, people with a lot of enemies. So to do the nice things, the right things when nobody's looking, that's the definition of a real man. And he taught me all of these things. And it's just gem after gem after gem. And for that, I'm forever thankful. Man, forever thankful. I still can't believe he chased off all these people that, try to sell me some stuff so I could be a street pharmacist. Man, I had the roughest time with that. Seriously, put the fear of God in them. You know what I mean? When he found out what I was doing and how much money I was making and how I was doing it, he didn't go to the cops. He just went to their door or rolled up on them and let them know, hey, I'm such and such's dad. You keep doing this, you ain't gonna be around much longer. And yeah, that was that. So, but yeah, for that, I'm forever thankful. And that's the importance of dads. So, that, one love, peace out, stay safe. And keep trying no matter what. Keep trying. Keep trying. All right. Gotta go do some, run some errands. Until next time. Peace.